Hi everyone. In this video I want to tell you why therapy mostly is ineffective and you're wasting your entire time with most therapists because they actually never learn to change their brain themselves. So how are they going to teach you how to change your brain? Most therapists don't practice mental health tools. So that's like a tennis coach who only read about tennis but never played tennis. And when your first week you train and you're like, hey coach, my wrist hurts. And the coach is like, oh, I don't know. But a professional who's been playing is probably like, oh, you got to change the rack position that way. I had this before because he went through it. So in this video, I'll teach you what your therapist should have taught you. The first thing when you walked in the door. Because if they didn't teach you this thing, the whole therapy session is ass. I'm serious, and I'll tell you why, okay? Don't worry, like I'm not the kind of person who doesn't back up what he says. Cognitive diffusion is the ability to differentiate between your brain and between you and your brain, okay? So cognitive diffusion is the ability to differentiate between you and your brain, between you and thoughts, between you and emotions. Now, most of you think, oh, but I'm not a slave to my emotions. I'm not reacting to them, or I'm not a slave to my thoughts. I'm not reacting to them. And that's not true. You are whenever you want to do a project that you want to do, and the brain says, hey, you're not good enough. You're not ready yet. You need to read more books. You need to read more self-help books. You think that's you. You think that makes sense. You think that comes from, oh yeah, I need to improve myself, of course, to be a better speaker, to be a better that. But it is a pattern. It is a pattern to keep you from doing the things you want to do. And the reason for that is because you avoided doing the things you wanted to do for such a long time that now your brain is like, oh, those things must be scary because you've been avoiding them for such a long time. And then the brain's like, okay, how can I protect you? I know. I'm going to give you thoughts that you react to and emotions that you react to. The brain doesn't even speak language. It doesn't even know what you're not good enough or you're not ready yet means. It only knows it keeps you from going into that danger, that you showed it it's dangerous because the brain doesn't understand language. It only understands your behavior. So by you avoiding it, you're showing the brain it's dangerous, and the brain will give you more anxiety, more depression, more things to keep you from going there. So it's so important to have cognitive diffusion and understand that those thoughts are just patterns. And the emotions, the anxiety that come up, that trigger, are from trauma patterns. But by you reacting to it and you trying to make them feel better with maybe meditation or certain techniques, you're actually feeding them. Because why would you make something feel better if it wasn't dangerous? Your brain understands that. And by you trying to fix emotions and you trying to fix thoughts, your brain's like, oh, he or she loves fixing. Let me give them more things to fix. That's why putting in focus on shadow work doesn't make sense. Shadow work is a part of it. It's great because it's about accepting emotions and thoughts, but then it's about changing your behavior. So back to the first lesson, cognitive diffusion. There's a airplane flying by, but I hope you don't react to the impatience that the brain brings up to you, and get out of this video, because then you would be a slave to the brain too, okay? And you're gonna learn some valuable lessons on here. So cognitive diffusion, okay? Question yourself. Question those patterns. Don't see as when you feel anxiety as something that makes sense. Don't see as thoughts like you're not good enough, or you're too fat, ugly, big, tall, slim, stupid, or whatever the thoughts that come in, or thoughts of jealousy. Oh, they might cheat, and then if you react to it, you feed those things. So in any area, those thoughts and emotions, you bought into them. And now it's harder, of course, because you fed the puppet master, right? So the more you reacted to the puppet master, the stronger the puppet master got. And now that's what happens to people with ADHD, right? The more they distract themselves with social media or thoughts or checking on things, the more the brain distracts them and the more identified they are. So what we really want to do is the disidentification, right, of the brain and making it about values. You want to make it about valued actions. And here's the important part, and this is where we go deep. A lot of people, when they go to therapy, they're like, oh, give me this trick, give me this magical thing that will change my perspective right away and I don't have to do anything anymore. That's never gonna work, never. And the funny thing is, your pattern will probably say, oh no, it might not work with that coach, but maybe there's another teaching, there might be another teaching that gives me the trick. And that's your pattern of being comfortable. The more you're trying to be comfortable, the more uncomfortable you will become. And the more you avoid uncomfortable emotions, that's like avoiding weights. You will get weaker and weaker emotionally, and the emotions seem bigger and bigger. All right? So, the important thing is that your therapist should give you tools to practice, and your brain changes over time by doing the valued actions mindfully with the practice and not reacting to the old patterns. You don't have to do this perfect. You can be kind to yourself, but you have to do that practice, and that practice over weeks and months, it what changes you, not a certain thing that you hear from your therapist. Okay? I want you to know that. And you can accept that, you cannot accept that. It's none of my business. I'm giving you the gift. You can take it or you cannot take it. I cannot do it for you. And a lot of you who watch this video will still be like, oh, but I will find this one trick. And I used to think like this. That's why I have so much empathy. But I realized over time that it's really about practice, and the practice really changes. It actually is going to be a constant change then. You're going to be fully changed. You're going to be like a different level. I'm now a different level that I was before, But back in the day when I looked for these tricks, I had some placebo effects for a few weeks, and they're like, why doesn't it work no more? So this will actually change your brain. And if you really want to go deep, get the emotional fitness program. If you're on a budget, the program is worth thousands of dollars. It's only $29.99. I made it so affordable for all the people who cannot afford my one-on-one coaching, and I made it so affordable for TikTok because a lot of people are like young that follow me, or I bring mental health for them for the first time. And if you want to get really deep, get the How to Create Self-Worth program, right? But it's this will be on YouTube, probably a video. So if you go on my Instagram, same name as the YouTube, King of Kings Energy. If you go on that, there's going to be the link in my bio, all right? So today you learned cognitive diffusion, and in your therapy, how important it is that your therapist gives you tools. It doesn't make sense that that he's valuing your emotions, you feel better, and then you go and you're like, oh, that was great, I did so much work. No. You gotta get tools during the week, cutting out compulsions. Cutting out the compulsions. The compulsions are actions from you trying to make a feeling feel better. And that will cause more mental health problems. So you need to cut out this social media addiction, for example, where you're trying to avoid boredom and anxiety. You're getting sucked in by the brain, giving you boredom and anxiety. And then you're grabbing the phone to avoid those emotions. That's where your therapist should have told you that all emotions are good. We want to build an ability, a skill to be okay with all the emotions. Because if you're not okay with all the emotions, you will be a slave to some because you will react to them, all right? So I think that was enough for today. That was a lot of information. I'm going to do more in the next video. If you have any questions, go to the comments. I love you. And I forgot to say like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Support the channel, please. Come on, do it. Like and subscribe and comment like crazy. Why would you do it? All the value. Bye.